They say that audio makes up 50% of the viewing experience, but for me personally, I think it's more than that. Think about it. If this video didn't have great audio, you wouldn't stick around very long, no matter how crisp the video quality was. But on the flip side, if the audio is crystal clear, but the video quality wasn't at its best and the content was value packed, you'd likely stick around longer than in the previous scenario. So kudos to you for investing in yourself and upgrading your audio. But now that you have, here are the 5 mistakes you want to avoid after you've upgraded your mic so that you sound exactly like the pros do. For those of you that are new to the channel, it's Dave here, and I specialize in creating content for real estate and mortgage professionals, and I've been doing it for the past 5 years. And now because of this, I was able to leave my full-time elementary school teaching job, do this full-time, and be more present for my family, all while living the life of my dreams. And the channel is focused on teaching you to do the same for you and your business, one video at a time. So mistake number 1 is bad mic placement. So microphone placement is very important when it comes to the quality and the consistency of your sound. So be very mindful on where you hold and place your microphone. You don't want it to be too close or things are going to be really muffled. Muffled, blah, 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 blah. And you don't want it to be too far away or things are going to sound echoey and not full. So having your mouth about a fist away from the microphone is best. This or this. So you want to talk over the microphone so your breath goes over the mic, unless really you have a pop filter or a windscreen like I do here, and that's going to lead me into my next point. And mistake number 2 is not using a pop filter or a windscreen. So the windscreen or the pop filter is going to cut down on any harsh sounds coming from your breath. So on an XLR microphone, this has got a pop filter here, and on a wireless microphone, you're going to see a poof, or they call it like a dead cat, and this is going to be the windscreen that is going to make your voice sound more crystal clear. So the harsh sounds that come from the microphone are going to be called plosives. These are the P's and the B sounds, and they will cause the audio to pop or distort. When you have a windscreen on, it will level off your audio and it will limit the higher clipping sounds that distort. It's not perfect, but it will limit the top end distortion with the windscreen. So let me give you an example here with the windscreen on and the windscreen off. So here's an example with the windscreen off. Peter Piper picked a pack of peppers. And now with the windscreen back on, Peter Piper picked a pack of peppers. So could you hear a difference? Was it noticeable with or without the windscreen? You should have been able to hear a difference. So like I said before, the Rode microphones here come with a pop filter that looks exactly the same as the microphone, so it fits perfectly. You can get a generic pop filters, and these will fit on most microphones on the market. They're usually in that like $14 to $20 range on Amazon, and you can get them in different colors. So if you don't have access to one, just make sure to hold the mic at an angle so that you're not talking directly into the microphone, but your breath is going over the top of the mic and not right directly at it. So if you're finding any value here, I'd appreciate if you smash that like button. It's Dave here, and I used to be a full-time elementary school teacher for 15 years. And after the birth of our first son, my perspective changed on time. I wanted to transition into a career that would allow me more time flexibility to be with my growing family. So fast forward 5 years later, I'm creating content for my clients and myself full time and able to live the life of my dreams and be present for my family. And the goal of my channel is to teach you to do the same, one video at a time. And this leads me into mistake number 3, ignoring room acoustics. So I know when you hear that term acoustics, it sounds like super audiophile type, not understanding exactly what that means, but I'll break it down for you nice and simple. So really you want to consider the room that you'll be filming in, because it will make a big difference in the quality of your sound. I know we all don't have access to perfectly balanced acoustic rooms, but we can do a couple things to help things sound better. So first thing, you want to consider the size of your room. If it has very high ceilings or the room is really big, this is really going to affect your sound quality. But you can do a couple of things to get great sound. So to improve on not having the sound bounce around and be echoey, number 1, you can add a carpet to that room. So if you have hardwood floors, throw down an area rug thicker and more plush that it is, the better. If at all possible, if you're in a carpeted room, that's even better. Next up is foam panels or blankets. These dampen the echoes as well, and they reduce any outside background noise that's happening outside of where you're filming. If you're doing any voiceover work, a closet is a great place to do this. The clothes will absorb any reflections in your sound. So to recap there, in terms of your room, bigger is not necessarily better. You really want to just have things that are going to absorb the sound and not enhance and make things bounce everywhere. And this leads into number 4, not monitoring your audio levels. It's important that your audio levels are not too quiet so that your audience can't hear you. And on the flip side, you don't want your audio too loud that's going to be distorted and blow out people's eardrums. So on your audio devices, you really want to keep your levels in the green. So if you're bouncing up to the yellow and that dreaded red, you will have bad sounding audio. So I'm currently shooting on a Canon camera and I can see the audio levels on the screen while I'm recording. So before recording, I double check that the volume I'd be speaking at would fall into the range of 6 to 12 decibels. In that range, if I need to bump up the volume or a touch up or down later, it's okay. But if you go over and it gets distorted, you can't bring that back. You want to pay attention to your gain levels. This is where you can increase and decrease the volume output of your microphone and your recording interface. A pro tip here, keep the volume as low as you can on your camera and boost the gain on your microphone or on your interface. So what I mean by interface here is I'm recording everything on a Rodecaster Pro 2. I also use a PodTrack P4 to connect the XLR microphone to my camera. So on the interface, either the PodTrack 4 or the Rodecaster, that's where I'm gonna adjust the gain. And on the camera, I'm gonna have that input volume as low as possible. So by doing this, I'm going to limit the amount of background hiss during the recording. So you want to keep an eye out on the volume. Just make sure your audio is coming in nice and crystal clear. So in the field, I've been using the PodTrack P4 to record short form content and podcasts for clients. And I've run into situations where the PodTrack ran out of batteries. And honestly, if I wasn't monitoring things, I wouldn't have noticed and we would have lost a ton of episodes. So really, you just want to keep an eye on volume at all times just to make sure things are coming through nice and clear. And this brings us to point number 5, using the wrong microphone for the job. You want to use the right microphone for the right job. Wireless microphones like this are great for being free and wireless, obviously, and being able to freely walk around your space. They have those small mini microphone ones that you can see on Amazon for around $30. To be completely honest, they're not great, but they're going to be better than the audio that's coming out of your camera or your phone. Sometimes the audio will be distorted and won't sound its best. If it was me, I would just save up a little bit extra and buy something a little bit better than those. Right now, my favorite go-tos are the Rode Wireless Go systems. I've been using this one specifically for over 5 years. So the price tag is in that like $200 to $300 range, but I've been using them without any fail for the last 5 years. And I'm using them for myself and clients. So if you're just using it for yourself, you spend $200 to $300, but then you'll have crystal clear audio for years. Another brand that's really good that I have creator friends that use the DJI wireless mic system. That's really good. And another one that's a little lower on the budget side is the HoloLens system. So again, they're going to give you either one mic or 2 mics. You'll be able to plug directly into your phone or any camera and you're good to go. So really, I'd go with any of those 3, the Rode, the DJI, or the HoloLens. So an XLR microphone, like I have right here, these are my absolute favorite. They're great, but they have limitation in terms of the length of the wires. Some of them need external power and they'll need an arm or a stand to hold them up. You could also just hold these in your hand. I've seen informal podcasts do that and that works great too. So my current favorite right now is the one I'm using right here, which is the PodMic USB by Rode. It produces great sound, looks great, and has USB function. So it can be plugged straight into my computer or my phone. So similar to other microphones, it really depends on your environment. So if you're in an environment that has a lot of outside noise, you really want to choose a microphone that isolates your voice and reduces the noise from around you. So if you want a full walkthrough of what mics to get, pros and cons of each, and which ones that fit your budget, you can have a look at the next video in this series where I walk you through choosing the right microphone. We'll see you in the next one.